Glass burst across the foyer like a snowstorm, crystal pinging off marble, and every head snapped toward the balcony where a small boy stood with bloody palms and eyes too old for 7. I stepped through the glitter and raised my hands where he could see me calm, steady. I sign, "I see you. I understand." He signs back so fast his fingers blur. "You can hear me. You really hear me." And just like that, the week I was supposed to keep my head down and clean became the week I broke every rule that house had. I'm Layla Carter, South Side kid with rent to make and a little brother who needs insulin more than I need pride. I've been hired by the Hales, big lakefront place in Lakeview, all glass and quiet, and a father who still looks like a CEO in his own kitchen. Don't speak unless spoken to. Don't go near the boy. Do not improvise, the head housekeeper says like she's handing me a script, and I nod because jobs like this don't come easy. But then I see the boy on the stairs. Theo, hair in his eyes, hands moving in shapes I know by heart. Because when I was 16, my best friend lost her hearing, and I learned ASL so her world wouldn't shrink. So yeah, I answer him without thinking. "Hi, I'm Layla, I see you." And his mouth makes that little O of surprise kids make when hope sneaks back in and Ms. Duarte drags me away whispering, "He's broken," which is the quickest way to make me dig in, you know what I mean. The house has a rhythm. Doors that think they're secrets. A library that smells like leather and tucked behind a row of books. I find Theo's notebook page after page of the same moment. A woman in a blue dress, a chandelier above her, like a frozen firework, a boy with his mouth open in a scream no one can hear. You don't need a PhD to read that. You just have to look, and later polishing glasses taller than my forearm. I hear Victor Hale on the phone saying he'll send his son to a residential program because the kid won't use his voice, and something in me says not on my watch. Morning comes with a storm. Theo has barricaded his door. Things are breaking on the other side. Victor stands there with the tie pulled too tight, asking to talk. Which is the whole problem, so I kneel, press my palm flat to the wood, and sign even though he can't see me. "It's me, Layla. I'm right here. You're not alone." And the lock clicks like the house finally exhales. Inside is wreckage books, torn toys, snapped drawings scattered like snow. Theo looking at me like punishment is the only language adults speak. I sign slow. "You are not broken, you are grieving," and his hands shake as he answers. "They want to send me away because I can't be fixed." I stood right there when Mom fell. I screamed and nothing came. Now it's stuck forever. Show me, I sign, and he reenacts the worst day of his life from the window. And that's when Victor steps into the doorway and sees his son tell a story he's never heard. In a language he never learned, he says he's communicating, like it just occurred to him, and I forget every boundary, and say he's been communicating all along. You just didn't learn his voice then. I take Victor's hands and shape them clumsy in the air. This is "I love you." And it's not pretty, but it's honest. And Theo crashes into him, and they fold to the floor, and for the first time in a year, that kid is heard. 3 months slip by, and we build a life in small signs, morning coffee cooling, while Victor practices. "Good morning, son." Big and slow at first. Theo rolling his eyes, but glowing anyway, and the house softens a little less. Museum, a little more family. But school is a fight. The fancy academy loves its crest more than its kids, and calls Theo disengaged because he signs his answers. I push for a program that speaks his language. Victor pushes back with tradition. We argue, we breathe. He says he'll think, and thinking is a start. Then a board fire pulls him to Seattle, and Theo's shoulders climb to his ears. He signs fast. "Take me, please." "Last time you left, Mom died." And the room freezes. Victor sets his phone down like it's a weapon and signs and says at once, "I will come back in 3 days." When I do, we look at new schools, I promise. And Theo cups his father's face like he's memorizing it. Tuesday. We head to Belmont Harbor for bread and ducks, our little ritual. Except today, Theo's hands keep making half-words like he's chasing a thought. He doesn't want to catch. Then, a pack of skateboarders slices the path. One clips him by accident, and he tumbles down the grass, scrapes his palms on the rocks. Not a big wound, but I can tell he's gone. He's back under that chandelier, and the air is thick, and his mouth opens, and nothing comes, and his hands beat mom, 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 until it smears. So I pull him into my chest and sign against his back, where the body understands before the eyes do. You're safe, I'm here, you're safe. And he shakes his head. It's stuck, try for me, kid, just try. And he opens his mouth, and there it is, not a word, not a scream, a low animal moan like grief, finally finding a crack. And he touches his throat like he's found a map, and we sit together until the world slows down. By the time we get home, a stranger's phone has already decided our fate. The video of that fall is online with a caption pretending to care. Hail Air injured under Maid's care. Views, climbing, opinions, multiplying. Ms. Duarte says Mr. Hale is calling, and his face fills the living room screen from some airport lounge voice, clipped and businesslike. Is he hurt? What were you thinking? He doesn't leave the property without me. You're done, pack your things, and Theo signs so fast I can barely catch it. Not her fault. Don't take her away. She's the only one who hears me. And Victor says, translate. And my hands shake and I repeat the truth and write as he says. The decision is final. Theo screams a real one, ripping and human, and then the words tumble out like an engine coughing awake. You don't see. You send away everyone who loves me. First Mom. Now Layla. And yeah, that happened. The room goes quiet except for breathing, and Victor goes white and tells someone off-screen to turn the plane around. He blows through the door 6 hours later, like a man who ran across America finds Theo snuggled into me in the library, hands and mouth working in this messy duet. Theo rasping, sorry about the chandelier, and Victor frowning. What chandelier? And then we hear the crash. The giant chandelier already a field of ice on marble, Theo on the landing again, with blood on his palms, saying, now it can't trap her in my dreams. And Victor stares between the mess and his son, and picks the only thing that matters. Good, I hated that thing. And Theo barrels into him begging, don't make Layla go, please. And Victor looks at me over his son's head and says, I was wrong, you saw what I refused to see, and I stay. The internet doesn't forgive. It mutates, we become a headline about boundaries and scandal. But we switch schools anyway. A place where morning announcements happen in voice and sign and outside. On day one, a reporter shoves a mic at a 7-year-old and asks if I'm after his father's money. And Theo stands straight and says with hands and voice together, Layla is not a servant. She's the person who taught me I deserve to be heard. Cameras click like hail. Victor steps forward and says, my son said what matters. If you've got a problem, that's yours, and someone shouts. So are you involved with her, and it hangs in the air, ugly, until Theo grabs my hand and his father's and braids them together and says, Mom would like her. Mom would say, love finds us when we stop looking, and the sidewalk goes quiet, because sometimes a child is the only adult in the room. Life doesn't turn tidy, we still have hard nights where Theo wakes voiceless, and I hum and sign lullabies against his back until sound finds him. Victor learns to argue about chores in 2 languages, which is frankly the truest fluency the house gets. Color paper. Birds hang where Crystal used to, each bird carrying a word, Theo reclaimed. Brave, blue, loud, free. And one evening he asks me to play the piano. I do my best, he tells Victor to sing. Victor says I don't sing, and Theo says, everyone sings in their own way, and we do ragged and perfect. Then a week later, the kid ambushes us with a proposal. Will you marry my dad and be my other mom? And Victor chokes, staff freezes, optics scream. But we are who we are. He kneels on the scuffed floor where toy trucks pile up and signs first, because we honor the order of things now. Then says it out loud. Will you stay with us, not as staff, as my partner, as Theo's mother, as my wife? And I laugh because crying would drown me and say I came to clean a house and found a home, yes. People online argue about power and money and imbalance, and listen, I get it. Two truths can live in one room. A love that surprised us and a world that doesn't make it easy to trust what you see. So we put our money where the noise is, fund interpreter training and teacher grants. So more classrooms, speak more kids' languages. Some call it halo polishing. Some call it overdue. I call it the minimum. Sometimes late, you'll find us in the library, with the lamps low and no chandelier to catch the light. Victor reading, because his boy likes the sound. Now me signing along, because pictures land deeper that way. Theo adding thunder and whoosh and boom, like a one-man orchestra, and all that warmth spills into the same space where a year of silence sat like a stone. And if you ask me what changed, I'd say this. A boy screamed without sound until someone bothered to learn how to listen. A father lowered his pride and learned a new alphabet. A woman broke a house rule and chose a child over a paycheck, and a home was built from hands and voice together. So tell me where you land. Was I wrong to push past a boss? Was Victor wrong to fire me even if he fixed it? Is marrying your boss always a bad idea, or can two truths sit at the same table and still feed a family? Should schools teach sign as standard the way we teach reading? Have you ever been ignored until somebody met you where you were? Drop your take in the comments. Argue with me if you need to share the moment you finally felt heard. I'll be there listening, hands ready, heart open.